And so, here we are again, my esteemed viewers. Remember that our channel is Alfonso the Rothschild Tutorials, a channel dedicated to helping all of us have a better grasp, a better understanding, a better control of the English language. An all-important language which ranks among the world's foremost languages. For some time now, we have been channeling our energy towards helping our IELTS prospects, that is, our IELTS candidates to have a better understanding of this groundbreaking examination and all the important techniques that they need to use to be able to do justice to the questions that will confront them in this examination. In our immediate past video, we talked about the IELTS process diagram essay. I'd like to point out, in case you are joining us for the first time, that a good number of the diagrams that we use in our videos, in our lessons, in the previous sections of our classes, those classes that dealt with the analysis of graphics, a good number of the diagrams were taken from the official IELTS website. I also want to point out that today we're going to start in our discussion on IELTS Writing Task 1, which deals with letter writing. And it is the ideal thing that we take the questions, the topic of our letters, from the official IELTS website, usually featuring past questions on given areas or given sections of the examination. Today, we'll be talking about IELTS Informal Letter. Letter writing is a Task 1. The Task 1 writing involves only IELTS General students. The IELTS General students are those who desire to sit for the IELTS examination because they seek an opportunity to travel abroad to pursue their careers. So, the Task 1 writing IELTS examination involves only professionals, people who are already pursuing various professions, but they want to continue with their professional careers outside the third world or outside Nigeria, as the case may be. We'll begin by talking about what the IELTS informal letter involves. The informal letter is a personal letter, a letter you write to people who are close to you in one way or the other, a letter that is not official, a letter that you write to some people who you enjoy some close relationship with. Good. This letter should have a word count of about 160, but it is advisable that you write up to 180 so that you have space enough to give all the details that are necessary. Anything above 180 towards 200 is a waste of time. You will lose marks rather than gain some. This letter is to be written within 20 minutes, and you are advised not to spend more than 20 minutes writing the letter because you will need a total 40 minutes to write the Task 1 and the Task 2 writings. Task 2 also requires 20 minutes. So do not go beyond the 20 minutes given to you for writing the letter, because that will encroach into your time for essay writing. Letter writing is very important because it constitutes 33% of your total score in writing. And it is important that you pay attention to the content of the writing, which also constitutes 25%. It is called task achievement. something like content, task achievement. That's your ability to stick to the content of the letter. Today, our question goes this way. So, this is the form which the question takes. It says, you recently had a holiday visiting your friends and you stayed in their house. Write a letter to your friends. In your letter, 1. Thank your friend for staying with them. 2. Tell them what you enjoyed most about the holiday. 3. Explain that you are sending photos of the holiday with the letter. Now, I would like to first of all explain what it implies that IELTS gives you an outline of points to develop in your writing. In your letter writing, it is to guard against rigmarole, to guide against circumlocution. Rigmarole and circumlocution are to be defined as beating about the bush. In other words, to guide against your derailing. So as a writer, you need to understand that all writings are a summary of events. You do not include everything in writing. Only the major features, the major issues are needed. You cannot write a letter where you mention everything. You only talk about that which made an impression very much on you. So, as you are writing, You need to focus on the point you're asked to develop. Do not derail from them. Developing your point very much is called content in writing. In IELTS assessment, it is called task achievement. So as an IELTS prospect, you have achieved your task if you're able to do justice to the content. The IELTS letter does not test your ability to write an address. So the address is exempt. It is excluded from the IELTS letter writing. It is because IELTS takes it for granted that you already know how to write an address. The test is about your ability to go straight to the point you want to make, to understand your purpose of writing, and to know who your audience is, to go straight to the point you want to make, and not to introduce issues that are irrelevant. I guess we are making sense here. Now, this letter says, thank your friend. Of course, since it says thank your friend, is the purpose of the letter. How did you enjoy the holiday? So you must begin by thanking your friend. That should happen in the very first paragraph. The way you begin your letter, the salutation, indicates what kind of letter it is. In the case of an informal letter or a personal letter, you have to begin with dear or dearest, followed by the person's personal name, usually the first name, but not a title. So you may not write dear Miss Bassey or dear Mr. Brown, no. But you can write dear Nancy or dear Patrick, as the case may be. And then this also affects your tone, the tone with which you address the person you're writing to. The salutation indicates the kind of letter it is, and this goes on to affect your tone and the choice of words that you use as you write, and also your complimentary close. This is therefore invariably a guided composition, and students as young as those in junior secondary school have enough skill to be able to write this kind of letter. So I expect that IELTS prospects should do better at it, knowing at what level of the learning of English language they are. So without further ado, we will start writing the letter. We will begin here. We have written the first paragraph of this letter. It says, Dearest Laura, I must confess that I was overwhelmed by the show of hospitality that your family and you showered on me during the brief holiday that I spent in your family estate. As a matter of fact, when I set out to visit the Mambila Plateau, it was a quest for a place of solitude where I could regain my dissipated energy and reunite with a friend I had lost contact with close to a decade. But little did I realize that I was preparing for a carnival. Honestly, I never in my wildest dream anticipated the red carpet treatment that I received in your family. For this and more, I want to say a big thank you deep from my heart. A letter to a friend in whose house you spent your holiday is referring or discussing events that took place in the past. And so the writer must have skill in reporting events in the past tenses. I have therefore underlined the verbs in the introductory paragraph of this letter that are used appropriately in the past tenses. Now, in this first paragraph, we have made use of the first bullet point. That's the first point in the outline, which says, thank your friend for allowing you to stay with them. We are now ready to take the second paragraph. And so this is the second paragraph of our letter. Remember that our second bullet point says, tell your friend what you enjoyed most about the holiday. And our writing here says, in a special way, I want you to thank your husband, William, for me, for suggesting that we visit the cinema house on the plateau. It was one event in all, a show that brought cascading back to my mind all the cavorting and escapades of our childhood. I was particularly thrilled by the themes of the movies. Classics and thrillers have always been my best genre of theater. It was almost like reliving my entire childhood, a deja vu moment. Once more, we've underlined the topical verbs in the past tenses that we have used in this paragraph. So, we are now set to take the next paragraph and to finally conclude our writing. So let's take a look at the third paragraph of the letter. It says, besides, the photos that we shot at the Jos River beaches are fascinating in, in, in their natural ambience. In their natural ambience and panoramic view of the setting. I have enclosed all your copies along with the letter. I hope they will make a most delightful viewing for your lovely ones. I have underlined the verbs here to indicate how quickly, how swiftly, how seamlessly a skillful writer can switch from one kind of tense to the other. In the first 3 paragraphs, where attention is paid to the past events that took place during the holiday, all our tenses have been in the past tenses. But in this third paragraph, where the writer makes reference to events that are present and to events that are yet to come, the writer has seamlessly switched to the present tenses and the future tenses. The first one are the photos that we shot at the Jos River beaches are fascinating. Present, simple. The photos are fascinating even as I speak. So it is simple present. Then, ambience and panoramic view of the setting. I have enclosed, present perfect. I have enclosed all your copies along with the letter. I hope, simple present, they will make, simple future. This has not happened. I hope they will make a most delightful viewing for your lovely ones. After this paragraph, there is nothing left unsaid. The third paragraph talks about the fact that the writer is advised to say he or she is enclosing copies of the photos, holiday photos for the family, and that has been said here. Then the writer closes the final paragraph where there is nothing much left unsaid. By way of closing, do remember to give my kisses to Ike, to Sandra, Mike, and Joachim. I love you all. Sincerely, Maria. The complimentary close can be yours sincerely or simply sincerely. It can be yours affectionately or simply affectionately, followed by a comma and the first name of the writer. Family names are not to be included, as family names or surnames or middle names are not to be included, only the first name. So that has been our discussion on IELTS Writing Task 1, which is for IELTS General students. If you have enjoyed this video, you have enjoyed our lesson today, give a thumbs up, like this video as your acknowledgement of that. Also, you can subscribe to our channel to encourage us to do better. But if there are observations, you want to make something about the video you do not like, drop your message on the comment section. Tell us what we can do to improve our videos, to make us serve you better. You can also ask questions by posting them on my WhatsApp page using the number 091 333 01790. That is 091 333 01790. It's been a day. I hope you've enjoyed my company as much as I've enjoyed yours. Goodbye until we see on our next video, when we will still talk about the IELTS Informal Letter, IELTS Writing Task 1 for General students. Till then, take care of yourself.